Today on the show, we talk about Legion, because why? It's Legion Mondays. All this and more on What the Hell Did We Just Watch? Welcome to another episode of What the Hell Did We Just Watch? I'm your host, Lumotional Lou, the show that helps spread TV awareness when it comes to this show right now, Legion. That's right, we're spreading TV awareness every Monday with the show Legion. And this week, it's Legion, Episode 5, Chapter 5.
Just promise me if you get lost, we get lost together.
Next Wednesday.
I know where they're holding Amy. I'll be going to get her.
Be careful. There's a chance we've left the real world and we're in David's world now.
It'll be fun. Save the girl. Get a snack.
We can't lose him. He's too powerful.
New people started putting all these ideas in his head.
Now, as we can see that David has returned with the company back to Summerland with a lifeless, what seems lifeless body of Carrie. Now, Carrie is injured, as you remember from last week's episode. She got shot and beaten half to death. You know, we don't know what her condition is, whether she'll live or not, but she gets taken to the infirmary. And in the infirmary, David gets to see Melanie and subconsciously tells her that he has seen Oliver. So this kind of like shocks her. And we also learn that Oliver has been in the astral plane for 21 years. Wow, that's a long time. Who would have thought that it was that long? She's holding up that torch for him, so good for her. So anyway, after he tells her that, we see that David and Sid have this little private moment, and he tells her that because of his newfound powers and how he's able to control them, he has found a place where he and Sid can subconsciously go and be intimate with each other. And that sends Sid's senses all over the place. Try saying that fast. Sends Sid's senses. They go to a place where they can be together and not worry about touching and all this and that. And they're able to kind of like be with each other in the same way, but in their minds, you know. And Sid has no problem with that. She has found this kind of like new thing that she has been comfortable with. After this encounter, we see that David and Sid are now going to visit Melanie, and they're going to tell her that they're going to get Amy. David is going to get his sister out of D3, Division 3. I like calling it D3 because now it reminds me of D3, the Mighty Ducks. That's just me. That's the movie guy that I am. What are you going to do? So they say that they're going to get her out of D3. And that they're going to do it with or without Melanie's help. He doesn't care. David and Sid, after their, one night's moment, their sleeping together moment, which is pretty hot. You get to see a little bit of her Sid's booty there. She's looking good. She got a nice ass. My girlfriend's going to kill me saying this on the podcast, but hey, I can't help it. Sid sleeps on the bed subconsciously. You just got to see this as the real world. Sid is sleeping in the white room that they were in, and David is in the bathroom having a discussion with Lenny, and the bathroom is all red, and she's in the bathtub, and he's just like pacing back and forth and coming up with a plan to get Amy out of D3. That's very interesting. So like the person that was being so negative with him is now being so positive with him is something that I was wondering. But we also know that she is the kind of like the facade of the devil with the yellow eyes. So we already should know that they are both in one in his mind. Lenny and the devil with the yellow eyes are the same person. But now this time he's like, we need to get her out. So David takes it upon himself to leave by himself. He leaves Sid behind, and Sid tells the group that he left. And she requests if they can all go and help him. So they go. But while they go, Carrie is healing. She has merged herself with Carrie successfully, and now she is healing inside and everything. And Carrie is observing David's MRI session, the video that took place, that, you know, of him getting his MRI taken. And while he's looking at that, he starts to see like these other images. He sees the dog, the Beagle King. He also sees the devil with the yellow eyes briefly. He doesn't know what he really saw, but we know what it is, as we've seen him already so many times. So he gets kind of like this eureka moment where all this time he thinks now that David is a schizophrenic. Now, what he means by that is that he's come up to the conclusion that David has another entity inside of him. That's basically the gist of what Carrie was saying. There is another person living within David. In a way, he has like a split personality. There's two people in one body. David being one and the devil with the yellow eyes being the other. What does that mean? I don't know. What's going on? Who is this thing? What is this devil with the yellow eyes? We know, okay, so now we know where it comes from. The only thing that we need to know is what is its purpose? What is it? So now we get to fast forward a little bit and we get to see Melanie and company. They all go to try to help out David. And when they get to D3, they find it in shambles. It looks like World War III. And David single-handedly destroyed every single security guard in that building. Some people are like in the floor. Some people are just like, it's just a bloody mess. Just put it like that. It's very fucking cool, man. I love what I saw in this place. It was very, very, very awesome. Even if they didn't show what happened exactly, you do get to see some of it in the security cameras that the character Benny, the guy that helped David escape the facility in the beginning of the episode, was there. He teams up with the team again and they all go and try to help David. But when they get there, looks like David didn't need any help. So it was kind of weird. But anyway, Melanie and Benny make their way to the security office where they're able to see the security cameras to see exactly what happened. So when they see on the footage, they see David literally snapping his fingers and doing these telekinetic powers that he has. He starts kind of like making people literally disappear, evaporate, explode, and whatever it is, just like end up in one place and another and all this and that. Like basically the way Lenny died. You're seeing a lot of security guards like that. There's some of them in the walls, there's some of them on the ground, in the concrete and all that. And that was very, very disturbing. But one of the things that made it very interesting was that while they were looking at the security camera, there's this kind of one on the bottom left that is like filtered in black and white. And when they're seeing that one, they're seeing where David should be, but instead of seeing him, they see the body of the devil with the yellow eyes. And they're like, what the hell is that? They've never seen that before. They don't know where that came from. So that was very interesting to finally, for other people to see the devil with the yellow eyes. You know what I mean? Even though they don't know what the hell they just saw. So, but it still made it very, very interesting. So we get to the notion that David is possessed. And that's why he's been acting funny, why he's been acting kind of cocky and everything. And it explains all those kinds of like symptoms and just like everything that's been going on. But now I feel bad because if it wasn't for the devil with the yellow eyes, they would have never found a way to be together. Meaning Sid and David. Now that we know that David is possessed, this also explains what happened to Lenny, also the devil with the yellow eyes, after David got out of the astral plane in the last episode. And you see Lenny kind of hovering over him, you know, at the end, which is the last shot. Now we know that it didn't disappear or go somewhere else. It possessed David. And one thing we've known so far is that once David takes Amy, he takes them to their home, the house they grew up in. And we find out that when Melanie and the gang are in the facility, they start to realize that one of the things that Carrie makes to light, he is, in conclusion, makes the fact that David is a schizophrenic, back at it again, and that his second entity that's in his body, he sees that the devil with the yellow eyes has also taken the shape of Lenny, Benny, the angriest boy in the world, and even the dog King. Somehow in his life, all these characters have taken a shape in David's life for about 30 years since he was a little boy. So that's pretty intense. That also made Ptolemy realize that that's what might have been triggering his kind of like memory blurs and all that stuff. So that's actually very interesting. That was actually very, very interesting. I really like that kind of twist the show is taking place. And it also made me very happy because it put David right back where he was, a schizophrenic. That's the way that I wanted him. That was actually one change that I was hoping that they would kind of finesse their way back to. But like I said, I always had a feeling, and the way that storytelling works is that the only way that you are something is if your main character or the character that is supposed to be something admits to it themselves that they are that thing. And he has still doubted himself. He still hasn't said it. Other people are saying it, but it's leaning more close to it. I mean, we already know that David has two people in another person in him. That right there is a mental disorder. There's nothing else. It's not something that's kind of like living inside him. I think it is a part of him. That's what I believe, But we don't know that. So let's see what happens as it goes, as it keeps unraveling. David learns that once David after rescuing Amy, has taken her to their home, to the home that they grew up in. And there, David kind of corners Amy and tells her that, I think that you're hiding something from me. And she's like, what? What are you talking about? He goes, there's something there. I know that there is. And this is actually the devil with the yellow eyes asking this. This is what I believe it, because you can tell by the attitude. But from there, Amy just kind of spills some beans, and she says that he's adopted. Holy shit. I can't believe that. The way that Melanie and company made it to the house was that Sid was able to kind of like call David, and they were able to go to the white room again, and she was there by herself, but she goes to the bathroom she never saw, which was all red, and she sees the dog in the bathroom. And when she closes the door, there's a reflection of the angriest boy in the world in the mirror, but I don't think she saw him, but I do know that she saw the dog. And that kind of gave her kind of like a mentality, kind of like foreshadowing that, hey, I know where David is. So she actually tells the group that to go to David's house, the house he grew up in. And this is where one of the coolest, most unique parts of this show in its entirety takes shape. Once they get close to the house, their ears kind of like hurt, and then all of a sudden, the entire time, they're mute. They're yelling out, and they can't get any kind of sound. They're trying to talk to each other, and nothing's coming out. And everything is so mute. And the only thing that's playing is the music. And it's very somber, very horror movie-ish. I loved it. I love this entire sequence. And I have to just stop right here for a second. This part in the show was genius. It was creepy and scary at times. That's for damn sure. Legion, where have you been all my life? What a unique storytelling show you are. I love it. All right, I'm just going to say it right now. This guy, Hawley, he should be given the reins to be the storyteller in the X-Men cinematic universe. If they ever start one, Fox, this guy is the answer to all your problems. This guy can single-handedly bring you an X-Men universe that you would never, ever think that you can have. Look what he's doing to this character in Legion. He is just bringing such awesome storytelling to it. There's something to learn from it. It's bringing a lot of uniqueness. It's very fresh, even though it's based on a character. It feels brand new. There's a lot of cool shit happening there, and it doesn't feel like it's the real world. I like that. It feels like it's in a comic book, very science fiction world, and that's what the X-Men franchise needed. That's what they needed to make a show. To make a movie. That's what they need. That's the answer. And Fox, if you're going to listen to it, or anybody that is in the Fox universe, stop sleeping on this man. This writer, this creator of the show, who also created Fargo, which is a damn good show. has given me the X-Men that I've been wanting to see for 17 years. No X-Men film has ever made me feel this way before at all. At all. That's for damn sure. But anyway, back to the show. Carrie makes this, he makes it away to his house. Everything is all quiet, and like I said, it was muted. They're all trying to talk to each other, but they all have to mouth what they're trying to say to each other, kind of like using their arms and hands and all that stuff. Now, one of the things we see when Carrie comes into the house, Benny also makes it to the house as well, but there's something off about him too. What? I don't know. So we get around to it. They finally find David in one of the rooms, and Sid is happy to see him. Benny makes his way into the room, and then all of a sudden turns into Walter. Mouth drop. Walter also carried a gun to the damn room, and when he shot, Sid actually gets in the way and tells him to go to the white room. So they teleport to the white room, and there everyone is safe. David seems to be himself again. And while that's happening, all of a sudden, the man with the yellow eyes, the devil with the yellow eyes, makes his way into the room. Sid is able to see him. She is screaming and she is petrified. That is some freaky shit. And it's just very Kubrick, Hitchcockian. I love what I see. The devil with the yellow eyes is not CGI, so he looks amazing. His costume looks great. Sid runs all over the room. Devil with the yellow eyes comes close, and then all of a sudden, Sid and company are in Clockworks, sitting in a circle with Lenny as the doctor. Now, that's where the show ends. Holy shit, I couldn't believe, the kind of journey we just took. This is, the craziest hour since the first episode of the series, and what a great ending. That's what I mean. I just love cliffhangers. I love great cliffhangers that end with a way where it's just this, Walking Dead, you got to pay attention. This is where you're lacking at. This is what you suck at. This is where you've been slacking. It's been like this for a very long time, and you need to go right back to your roots, Walking Dead, and fix this, because Legion has got something over you that I don't think that you have anymore. And that's storytelling, pacing, great character, story-driven stories. That's what I mean. Every single character that they talk about, I want to hear about it. Maybe your show got way too casted. Maybe that's what your problem is. But so far, Legion has taken me somewhere that not even your show has in a very long time. But more importantly, this is the best X-Men source material to date, because holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Logan didn't even put me here. How about that? Logan does not have the power to put me here where this show has taken me. I think it's fantastic. But I think I've talked way too much about Legion episode 5, chapter 5. But you can follow me on Facebook.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Instagram.com/WhatTheHellPcast, Twitter.com/TheHellPcast. You can follow me on SoundCloud. You can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe there as well. Please, just get in the know. I'm always putting up episodes every week, twice a week now, as a matter of fact, if most of you have noticed. But thank you for the support. Thank you for the listens. I hope that I've been entertaining you every week and every time that I'm on. I hope every topic has gone down to you and interested you. I hope you've watched new movies, which that is always a great thing. So, like I said, I hope you're enjoying Legion. I know I am. This is Lumotional Lou. Legion, episode 5, chapter 5. And I just got one thing to say. It's been Lumotional.